Welcome to episode 14 of the Tough Draw Talks podcast. I'm your host, Brad Hughes. Today, we're glad to be back at our home base in the stockyards. Appreciate you being along for the ride. So today, we have a young man who by PBR.com has been dubbed the soft-spoken 22-year-old. However, I just prefer the young cowboy from West Texas, Dalton Kasel. Dalton, what's up, man? How's it going?
Oh, it's going pretty good. Thanks for having me. I'm trying to stay cool.
Yeah?
It's hot outside.
That's good. That's good. You're coming off a big weekend, so we'll dive into that here in just a second. But first, I like to start off with just a couple of just rapid-fire questions just to keep you on your toes here. So if you could meet one person, dead or alive, who would it be and why?
Dead or alive, I'd probably have to go with John Wayne.
Oh, John Wayne.
Yeah.
Why John Wayne?
I don't know. I've always just been a fan of all the movies he's played in and stuff like that. And I don't know. He's somebody I kind of thought was the original cowboy.
There you go.
Even though he was just an actor, but yeah.
There you go. What's your favorite food?
Favorite food? Have to be steak.
Steak?
Steak and all the fixings.
The fixings, huh?
Yeah.
That's pretty good. What hobbies do you have outside of bull riding? What do you like to do?
I like to rope. I like playing a little basketball every now and then. Now that I have a family, I like spend time with my family. I like going and watching bull ridings. I guess that still kind of falls into the bull riding category.
Yeah.
But going to futurities, bucking bull futurities, and
yeah. So when we talked to Riley, if you haven't had a chance, we got to do a short film with Dalton back, I guess it was in September when we filmed it. But yeah, I mean, we talked to him and Riley, basically like he's kind of like a big brother, and he eats, sleeps, and breathes bull riding. So I wanted to push you outside of your comfort zone there and figure out what your hobbies were outside of that. But you did good. You at least answered about family, so which that's, I'm excited for you on that front too. What's your favorite movie?
favorite movie would have to be Cowboys. John Wayne's in it. Yeah.
Oh yeah. There you go. There you go. All right. So this question, you can take it however you want. There's a lot of different ways to answer this, but what's the best compliment you've ever received?
Oh, that's a tough one. Probably just my love for the Lord. I think quite a few people see that, and I'm not ashamed to talk about the Lord because he's one of my best friends.
Yeah.
And so just that I'm not afraid to talk about him in interviews and stuff like that, and some people really respect that. And
that's awesome.
So, and that's what I strive to do is push the Lord, not pushing him on people, but just kind of like, hey, this is my God, and this is who makes it possible for me to do everything that I've been doing.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, no, that was when we did that short film. I remember you talking about how, your faith in the Lord and how even through struggles, whether triumphs, successes, failures, etc., your love for the Lord never stops, and that was one thing that really impressed me when we got to shoot that short film with you. So, but no, I mean that's definitely a great one. We've had everything from like a bullfighter basically saying when a guy pats me on the back because I took one for him, that's the best compliment.
Yeah.
We've had all sorts of different answers, but that's a great one, man. What makes you tick? So like, what gets you going? Because you're a very laid back guy. I mean, as much as I wanted to joke and say that I prefer to call you the West Texas Cowboy, obvious reasons, you are soft-spoken and you are very laid back. So what gets you ramped up? What gets you excited?
Man, I get pretty pumped when it comes to time to get on a bull and stuff. My adrenaline gets going, but I'm still pretty laid back in that sense. I don't get too worked up, and I'll talk to everybody, joke around with everybody before I get on. I'll get pretty irritated when I buck off one, though, and that'll get me going. And I'm probably not the most easy to be around for the next 5-10 minutes, but
Yeah. Well, so we kind of alluded to this, but since you and I last got to hang out, you're married now. So that's awesome.
yeah, March 1st got married. I've known her for the last 9 years, and we're gonna have a little girl coming in July, and I couldn't ask for anything else.
Yeah. Yeah. If you're just listening, the smile on his face right now is pretty priceless. What, thinking about being a dad, like what's running through your head about being a dad? Are you excited? You got some fears?
Yeah.
You need a little counseling right now. I've got 2 on the ground. James downstairs has twin girls, so he can he can really help you out.
Yeah. No, I've had a little bit of everything. I was pretty nervous. I've been excited. I've been back to nervous, back to excited. And right now, I'm just ready for her to be here. We had a doctor's appointment a few days ago, and I was like, I wonder if they can just put you in induced labor so we could have her already. So right now, we're pretty excited.
I bet that's great, man. I'm real happy for y'all. And I know, especially with your faith in the Lord and stuff, I know you'll do a great job being a dad and leading your family. So I'm real happy for you, dude. But I mean, talking about family and stuff like that, this is something we didn't really talk a lot about in the short film, but, so you were adopted.
Yes.
Correct?
Yes.
So, how old were you when you were adopted, and tell us a little bit about kind of, your life growing up and stuff like that.
Yeah, so I was adopted right at birth. My mom, dad, I guess not biological mom, dad, but my parents, they were there in the hospital when I was born. My mom was in there with my birth mom whenever I was born, and they were the ones that took me home from the hospital. So I haven't known anybody else's parents except them.
That's really cool.
So.
That's really cool. I've never. I maybe know a handful of people that have been adopted and stuff. So, were you always told that you were adopted? Did you know? Like, how did that ever happen? Like, how did you figure that out as far as that goes?
Yeah, it all, like, I always knew it was, and I think maybe part of the reason my parents told me is because they're white and I'm half black, so it'd be a little hard to hide that for too long.
How old? Do you remember how old you were when you kind of figured that out and y'all actually talked about it?
No, I don't think it ever really was a big sit-down conversation, anything like that. I think cool. I always was told I was adopted, and so I couldn't tell you exactly how old I was when I realized it, because it's just been kind of part of my life
Well, that's cool.
Whole time.
That means they loved you well, I guess,
Yeah.
So you ended up in Muleshoe, Texas.
Oh, yeah.
Good old Muleshoe.
Oh, yeah.
Talk to me about growing up in Muleshoe and, school and stuff like that, and just kind of how you got into bull riding.
Yeah, so grew up in Muleshoe. That's where our address is technically, but our community was more in Farwell, Texas, which is about 20 miles west of Muleshoe. I was homeschooled since kindergarten to my 4th grade year, and then 4th grade year through my freshman year, I went to public school at Farwell, and then ended up getting homeschooled and stuff again. Didn't grow up in a rodeo background, anything like that. My mom was a school teacher. My dad's maintenance and transportation director. There's no rodeo. The only reason I got into it is because we'd be watching football games and bull riding come on TV, and I wanted to do it.
Yeah.
And so.
No, I found that absolutely fascinating that you didn't grow up in a rodeo background. You even started late, didn't you?
Yeah. I started when I was 13, 14, somewhere in there.
Yeah. And then started high school, doing the junior rodeos, and then high school, and then it almost, from the way that you and I talked about it, and it almost came natural for you, didn't it? Or what were some of your struggles and early on type? What was your learning curve, I guess?
Right at the beginning, I had a little bit of success, and I was like, "Dadgum, this is pretty easy." And then I got to where I couldn't ride crap, and I actually about quit riding bulls. And then I was like, "No, I'm gonna enter just one more high school rodeo," and I'd quit for probably 5 months or so, 4 or 5 months, and entered, and then made probably the best ride at that time I'd ever made. And I was like, "Oh, this is fun." And so I started, and then everything after that just kind of took off, and I had never looked back since then.
Yeah. And you ended up going to college in Big Spring, right?
Yes.
Was it Big Spring?
Yeah. I went 2 years
Talk a little bit
there.
about college rodeo.
Oh, college rodeo it was a good time. I really didn't go for the school part of college. I went just to rodeo. I wouldn't go to class that morning and show up for practice, and that kind of got frowned upon after a while. But it was good for me. I met Riley, the guy that's about like my older brother, and just it was good that getting on practice bulls, having practice bulls get on every day, and it just made me really realize that was something I really wanted to do.
Yeah. And along the way, people are probably listening to this and they're thinking, okay, his parents weren't a part of the rodeo community. How were they taking all this as you were bull riding and stuff? Like, you started at 13. I'm assuming that was probably in hiding, or did they know? Or
No, they took me to my first one.
Okay.
Heck, matter of fact, my dad and I had no idea what we were doing. We put my rope on backwards, and so.
That's awesome.
No, they weren't against it, because they were wanting to help me do whatever I wanted to do to, pursue my dreams. But they were definitely nervous, and I think my mom still is about as scared as she was the first time that she is now. So.
Probably. Well, when you got to college, talk a little bit about meeting Riley. And so Riley Sanford used to ride bulls, way too tall to ride bulls. Matter of fact, I have footage of him in like 2009 getting just absolutely knocked unconscious. But,
I think that happened a time or two with him.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's probably why I had to quit. But just, Riley's always been a really good dude, and I know he's always been just kind of ingratiated in the sport. So talk a little bit about meeting him and kind of what that did to your overall game.
Yeah. So he, while I was going to college over there at Big Spring, he brought bulls for us to get on, and he pulled up there. I realized when those bulls got unloaded, they didn't have big old fat hay bellies like our practice bulls did. They were in shape, and they were bucking bulls, real bucking bulls. And I ended up getting on 7 bulls that day. I got on 3 or 4 of his. He bucked me off all of them. Then I went and loaded some of the college practice bulls up and stayed on them. And he was like, "Hey, give me your number, and whenever you want to get on bulls, you can come out and get on bulls, or I can bring bulls, however we need to do it." And he hooked me up with going over there to McCamey, Texas, where he started working for Rick Schuler. And we've after that, we just kind of bonded together and got on practice bulls a lot. I went there at least once a week to get on.
That's awesome. So, so college, you went to the college national finals.
Yes.
Once or twice?
I qualified twice,
Okay.
but was only able to go once because I ended up lacerating my kidney the first year, like a week before. And so I couldn't go.
Jeez.
I was pretty irritated about that.
Yeah, I bet most people would be thinking that they should hang it up after a lacerated kidney. So when you started doing that with Riley, like, was it when you met Riley when it clicked that you could do it professionally, or did that come a little later, or when did you start to really lean into the thought of like, I can do this?
I thought I really enjoyed riding bulls. I made a college finals on that, and rally. I was just going to a bunch of open rodeos around Texas and stuff. And he's like, "Why are you not going to PBRs or pro rodeo?" I'm like, "What are you doing?" And he's like, "You ride good enough to go to them." And it's like, I don't know. I didn't really think of any other option. And anyways, he ended up getting me set up with Chad Berger, and he's the one that was like, "Hey, you need to be going these. You're an idiot if you don't," pretty much.
Yeah.
And so he made me take the next step where I started going to PBRs.
Yeah. And you started in Big Sky? Was that one of your first big ones that you went to? Or?
That was my first big PBR, technically, I guess. Yeah.
And you won, didn't you?
Yes, I won it. It was my first one on Ride Pass, I guess.
Yeah.
Like aired, and that kind of set where people started realizing who I was, and made the PBR website. I thought that was pretty cool. I thought I wasn't gonna ever see another poor day. But, anyways, that's pretty much where it started. Was Big Sky back in July.
And then, but that was July, and the PBR season starts in January. And you still ended up winning Rookie of the Year that year.
Yeah, I went hard that summer. I don't even. I'd be lying if I told you how many bulls I got on, but I got on a bunch of them. And then I got an invite to Tulsa, Oklahoma, which was Unleash the Beast, and then ended up making it on tour and just had the hammer down the whole time.
Don't stop from there.
Yeah.
Well, what did that mean to you? Like when you sit here and you kind of think about, being at the PBR World Finals and, crossing that stage to get Rookie of the Year buckle. Like, what did that moment mean for you?
I honestly was going so much and stuff. I never really had a whole lot of time to just think about it. Like, just sit down and think. And like, hey, you have a chance to win the Rookie of the Year, so don't mess up.
Well, be reflective now.
And yeah, exactly. And so whenever that happened, I was like, wow, this is pretty dang awesome. Like, Lord really blessed me with just the health to push so hard during the summer and this second half, and putting the right people in my path and stuff like that. I didn't even really think that would have been possible in half a year. But,
so you just said putting the right people in your path. And obviously you talked about Riley and you talked about Chad Berger, but, especially with a kid coming, like, what does it mean to you to think about the fact that, like, your parents, that adopted you, like, they didn't know rodeo, but yet they supported you, even though your mom was terrified.
Yeah.
Like, when you think about that and know what you've been through and being Rookie of the Year and stuff, and the people that the Lord has put in your path, like what does that what does that mean? Like, what does that mean for you?
It's almost hard to put in words, because it's crazy how the Lord works in that way. I didn't, like you said, didn't grow up in a rodeo background or anything like that. And there's always just something standing right there in front of me. Like, here, you want to go here? I'm going to help you here. You're being faithful to me. And just continually to put things right there. And it's not always just right there. You can just set in your hands. You got to go get it sometimes. But it's continually something to strive for. Like, hey, it's right here. Just, you got to work at it to go get it. And so it's just, I think that's been a main thing, is I see something. I see something like a record, I guess you could say I want to break, or something like that. And it's just always been something I've been striving for, just one step at a time, striving.
Yeah. When I think about like family and the people that the Lord have kind of put in my path, because obviously in a different way, but I'm, chasing dreams and doing things like that too. I reflect on it, that I think about, like, if the Lord can do that for me, and He's my Father, like, that's how hard I want to work for my kids too, And so that would be my encouragement to you because you have been blessed. It's so awesome that even at 22 years old, you recognize that you've had a lot of, you've had a lot of good people put in your path, and the Lord's blessed you in so many ways. So in your short film, you talk about the dark times too, because you've struggled with injury quite a bit too. What, like when injuries happen, like what goes through your head?
Quite honestly, sometimes I think like, again, like why is this happening to me? And I've gotten, as I've matured and stuff, I've kind of realized that I might be going too much or doing something, and the Lord's like, hey, just slow down. Like, look what I got going for you. And I think it's kind of just to kick my rear back into gear and being like, hey, you ain't all you think you are, this or that, so slow down. And it's been getting hurt and being hurt quite a bit, which we're not saying that's going to be the case anymore. But the past couple of years, it's been really humbling and just kind of knocked me back down to earth, and has given, I think it's helped me because in the sense of I did find, I've known my wife for a long time. We were just friends and stuff, but kind of knocked me down like, hey, this is who I'm going to marry, and this is who I'm going to start a family with. And so I don't know if that would have been the case if I hadn't been hurt, because I wouldn't have thought about all that. I would just be going and not paying no attention to anything else. And so I think I've been blessed with being hurt because I found my wife, and now I'm having a beautiful baby girl coming up in July. So
no, that's, I mean, like you and I talked about, and just the way that I remember I texted you not long ago, and I didn't even know you were hurt, and you sent me that picture of you with a sling on or something. And I commend you for finding the positive in it and pushing through. And but I mean, obviously that in this sport, injuries are kind of inevitable, and you get dinged up and stuff like that. But one of the biggest things that I think is really cool about you, and that I've been impressed with, is how you fight through and you return. And your return this past weekend in Bismarck was pretty phenomenal. As a bull riding fan, I really, really feel lucky because I've gotten to become friends with a lot of riders. And usually it's so hard for me to watch my buddies ride because I'm always nervous, or like, I'm just like, oh, I can't watch, or whatever. But I don't know, with you, when I turned on Ride Pass, it was funny because I was late turning it on, and I actually turned it on right when you got on your first bull and went 84.
Yeah.
So I timed that perfect. Couldn't have timed it any better. But, like, how do you reset when you come off an injury like that? Like, how do you reset? Like, was it the excitement? Were you just ready to be back, or what was it that was going through your head when you got to Bismarck?
Yeah, so it sucks whenever you're coming off an injury because, you're going to feel good month and a half out or so. You feel back to 100%. Even though you're not, you feel that way. And I kind of turned into an ass to my wife because I was ready to get back. I was like, can I go on practice bulls? And she's like, no, you still got like a month and a half out. Next
God
week,
for her.
Yeah, next week I'd ask her. It gets you back to craving stuff.
At least you know who to ask for permission from.
Yeah, no joke. Hey, she keeps me in line pretty well. But I got to craving it and just realized that how much I love it and missed it and stuff. And it just coming back, I didn't even think about anything. I let my body do it, and I was so excited to get back to doing it. It just ended up working out.
Yeah. So, 84 on your first one. What was going through your head when you got off that first one? And you were like, okay, back in the swing of things, or how was it?
To be honest, I thought Well, I wish he could have bucked a little harder because he did feel like a little bit of a practice bull to me. And anyways, I over there in Bismarck, everybody's riding everything. So I didn't even know if I was going to make it to the dang short go that night. But worked out.
What's your mentality when you get to the short go? When you get to pick into the draft? Or did you get to pick in Bismarck?
So we got to pick at Bismarck, and I was in the last 3 to pick. And it was Jive Turkey, I'm Busted, and Talking Smack. And none of them sounded too appetizing.
Yeah.
So I told Chad Berger, I was like, hey, just pick me something.
Oh,
like,
really?
I don't even care. Just,
Huh.
I didn't think I really wanted on any of them, so I was like, just pick my poison.
Huh. That's interesting. So going into it, like, did you when you go to get on, do you even think about like what you're getting on, or do you just not worry about it? Do you try to just be open-minded and just go with what they're doing, or?
I think about it a little bit. I honestly do. I love bull riding. I love the sport of bull riding. I love watching bulls buck. So a bunch of bulls I do know and stuff. I'm like, oh, I've seen that bull, or know the characteristics, and sometimes it helps me, sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah.
And but I try to be as open minded as I can.
Yeah. So do you ever get caught in setting traps for them? Like, if you know what a bull's going to do, is that
Yeah.
Is that sometimes a bad thing?
Oh yeah, no, I can catch myself being like, this thing does such and such, and it gets me every time. Especially if like I know like, oh, they're just gonna be nice to the left or just nice to the right. I'll get to sitting on my ass and just halfway doing it, and then end up getting drilled because just going through the motions.
Yeah. So Chad obviously picked the winner for you there.
Yeah.
So Jive Turkey. So talk me through that ride. That was, you were 94, correct?
Yes,
94?
Yep, 94.
Which is the highest marked ride of your career. But you're no stranger to 90-point rides. So first, what about that felt different than your other rides?
Yeah, so Jive Turkey, it's my highest mark ride, like you're saying, and he's a really electric bull. And whenever I was in the chutes, I was just calm and collect about everything. Whenever I nodded my head, it kind of felt like a firework, going off in my hand. One of those that just, like they're spiraling through the air and twisting and turning and stuff. It kind of felt like that. And I was on the end of my arm, and I knew which way he was going, and I knew the right moves and stuff, but I was just holding on, letting him just pack me around. And yeah, it felt like firework in my hand going off, or I was sitting on firework and see on cartoons and all that fun stuff. But it was pretty fun, and as soon as I heard the whistle blow and I got off of him, I knew that it was going to be over 90 for sure. Yeah. Whenever they said 94, I lit up, and I was pretty excited.
Oh yeah. So you won night one, and then you come back the next night. So that night after night one, isn't that when Jose rode for that bounty?
Yes.
Yeah. So Jose rode the bounty bull, what's that bull's name?
The Right Stuff.
The Right Stuff. That's right.
Oh.
And then you came back. You rode again in the long round. So you were 3 for 3 on the weekend at that point. And then what was your mentality picking the Right Stuff?
I knew Jose that second night in the long round, he was 90 on Sky Harbor, and I was 88 and a half. And so I knew he was a point and a half already higher than me. He had the first pick in the draft, and he picked a bull that he's rode 3 out of 4 times, safety meeting. And so the way Jose rides, you never can bet on Jose bucking off anything, And so there's quite a few other bulls that I rode before and that I liked, but I was trying not to take a safe bet. I was going to win it, and if I was going to win it, I was going to win it with bang. So I picked the right stuff. But Bull Jose rode for the bounty and was 95.5 on, and didn't necessarily
had a little different trip.
Yeah, didn't necessarily go my way. Went my way for about 6.5 seconds. But
well, coming out of that weekend, so second place finish overall. Obviously, Jose was 5 for 5, including that bounty bull. So that was going to be tough. But, how are you feeling coming out of Bismarck? How are you feeling about your next couple events and how the season's going to be going?
Oh, I'm pumped. I'm ready. I'm feeling confident. I'm feeling healthy. I don't feel like there's anything right now in my way that can stop me.
Yeah.
And it helps being 94 points because that's anytime you're over 90, like you're riding a bad bucking dude. So
heck yeah.
I feel good right now. I'm ready for the summer run and ready to start the second half of the season up again.
That's great. What when you think about you alluded to it earlier that like you let him basically put you on the end of your arm and kind of yank you around and stuff. How would you describe your riding style? Because I feel like you get yanked back a lot, but do you like that? Do you prefer it that way? Because
I rather
let the bull carry you, or
I rather stay right up there between them and seeing them every jump, but. That's not
Riley
always
said,
the case in my.
We didn't put this in the video, but Riley said you ride real loose, and he was like, it's kind of dangerous.
Yeah. I get jerked around quite a bit, and a bunch of times I end up on their head and getting pulled. Yeah, it gets a little. Sometimes it can get a little western.
Oh man, that's great. What's your? We like to go to fan questions and stuff. Here's one that I thought was a really good one. What's your favorite arena to ride in?
Favorite arena to ride in?
Or event, if they're separate. What's your favorite arena and what's your favorite event?
I think maybe just here recently it might have changed to Bismarck.
Yeah.
Bismarck was a pretty cool event. I like that. Like Nampa, Idaho. I'm kind of partial to both of them, I guess.
Nampa was your first big win, right?
That was my first Unleash the Beast win. Did well in Bismarck. I really liked Anaheim, California.
Okay.
That was a cool event.
That's very cool. Very cool. Do you like riding in Cowtown?
Yeah. I've had pretty good success there, and I know it's not my favorite, that's for sure, but I'm definitely not gonna turn it down anytime we get a chance to go there.
So like you said, you're a fan of the sport and you kind of keep up with stuff. What's the bull or bulls you want to get on the most? Like that maybe you haven't got to yet. And
Whoopah is definitely on my list.
What about? Yeah, I want to talk to you about Whoopah. What is it about that bull that makes him I would guess I'd say hard to ride. But what makes him so rank? Like, how does he score so high every time?
Yeah,
because he's been ridden a couple times.
Yeah, that bull. There's nothing easy about that bull. He's a really big bull. He is turning back really fast like a little one and kicking really hard. So he's strong and fast about it all, and like he's just a different caliber. Like it's dang near like Bruiser, I'd say, the caliber that he is.
Dang. I'm just gonna ask because Cord's been on the podcast, but you and Riding Solo have not matched up very well in the past.
Oh yeah, Riding Solo and we kind of got a little bit of history, and it's unsettled. Like until I ride him, like he's gonna be my pick until I get him rode.
What's hard about Riding Solo?
Nothing. I don't know why I fall off of them all the dang time.
You don't just fall off. I mean, one of Cord's videos he posts the most is you getting destroyed.
Yeah, so first time I got on him, he was like 47-point bull score. He was bucking hard. I'll give him that. Second time he hit his head, and then so I ended up getting a re-ride. And then the last time we matched up was over in Fort Worth, and I was tapped off on. He just turned back to the left. I was spurring the crap out of him. And then he was like, I don't like that. And act like a Bramer and jump back the other way and turn back to the right, buck me off. And then stomp me. And so, yeah, no, we're not done matching up yet.
What's your favorite bull that you've ever gotten on? Whether he was the rankest, whether he bucked you off, et cetera, et cetera.
Probably either Spotted Demon or Spotted Demon, or honestly probably riding solo.
Yeah.
Or Bush or Bruiser.
You've been on Bruiser?
Yeah, been on Bruiser twice, and both times was to win the event, and he bucked me off at like 7-8 something, and then last time was 7-9-7.
So is that like, I could imagine Cord's description from episode 12 of like the roller coaster being pulled up the train track, up the track, and then all of a sudden it just feeling like you're tied to a brick house. Is that what it's like when Bruiser does those big jumps up and down?
Oh yeah, it is absolutely crazy because he'll be turned back and just nice and just on it. I wouldn't say feel like a day off, but just good. And then he rears up, and it feels like he's about to flip over backwards on you because his front feet are coming off the ground so high. And then next thing you know, you don't see his head because he's dropping so hard. And then every time that's happened, I've looked up, and he's bucking out the out gate, and I'm sitting on my ass in the arena.
Oh, man. So this kind of ties to, it's kind of a two-part question. So your plan after bull riding, I'm curious to know what your plan after bull riding is, but that kind of alludes to another question. So now you actually are getting involved with some bucking bulls. You have one right now that's in the ABBI, correct?
Yes, yeah.
And what is that bull? How old is he? 2?
He's a 2-year-old, 983. Call him Silent Bob.
Silent Bob, huh?
Yeah, he doesn't say much when you talk to him, so he's pretty silent.
Is getting in bucking bulls something that you're interested in doing, like long term?
That's kind of my plan. I'm trying to get set up with a place and get pins, and I want to raise bulls, and I want to, I guess you could say, train bulls. Once I'm done, that's all I'm planning on doing. I have a few cows, and
that's the plan.
That's the plan. We'll see. That's the dream. We'll keep working for it and seeing how it works out.
That's cool, dude. We might. Well, I'm interested in getting into bucking bulls as well. So that might be something we have to talk about after your career's over, and maybe we make a couple movies or two.
Perfect. A little bucking bull movie.
So, do you have any superstitions? This question was from Lindsay, but do you have any superstitions for riding? So like, I know I've heard some people use the same glove for so many times, and if they buck off so many in a row, they throw away their glove or whatever. Do you superstitious at all?
No, not one bit.
That doesn't surprise
Some
me.
people say putting your hat on the bed, doing this and that. No.
You just get on and let them jerk you around until you get to 8.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Try to get out of there.
So, this is a 2-part question as well. In bull riding, who do you look up to? Like, who are some mentors you have in the sport? And then the second part of the question is, because you're about to be a new father. When you think about a father figure or people that you've been around, who do you look to as kind of inspiration for, like, I want to be a good dad like that person or whatever?
Yeah. So with just like people that have inspired me and stuff, it'd have to Riley Sanford. He's been a huge figure to me. Chad Berger. You know, and then like with training and raising bulls, Riley and I would have to say HD Page and Dylan Page. They always have some of the best bulls ever, and just as a father figure, I've talked to Riley quite a bit about you know, being a dad and stuff that he would do different or that he was glad that he did. And, you know, I've had just a bunch of good people come to me and give me advice, because I guess you don't really know what you're getting into till it's there.
Till you're in it.
Yeah. And so I've had lots of people give me advice, and some advice I like hearing and some I don't. So
yeah. When you think about the rest of the year moving forward, obviously, kid coming up, what are some goals you have to kind of close out 2021?
yeah, here I might have to pull my phone out. I got it written down.
Oh,
It's
you
on
got it written
It's on my
down.
home screen.
So are you that kind of person? You write those goals down?
Yes, I kind of have on my home screen. I have my rodeo goals, my life goals, and daily goals, and so it's something that I always look at. And
That's cool.
let's see what we got. Plans to be in the top 20 after this summer run. Top 20 in the PBR. I plan to win at least 3 touring pros this summer. Win at least one major, unleash the beast during the rest of this year. And then I'm planning on being in the top 10 come after World Finals and stuff. So,
I mean, considering how much time you've missed, that'd be a heck of a run to get up there to the top 10.
yeah. But, you know, whenever I won the Rookie of the Year, I had absolutely no points. And I started the same time I'm starting this year, and I ended up being in the top 10. So,
no reason you can't do it
no
again.
reason I can't do it again. Yeah.
There you go. Man, Dalton, I really enjoyed this. Is there anything else you'd like to say to fans of the sport, or, you know, just in general to listeners of the podcast?
I'm just thankful for everybody's support, because, you know, without people buying tickets or helping me do this, like, just, it's crazy just how many people are out there that will, like, if you get stepped on or something like that, they'll text you or message you on Instagram or Facebook, whatever it is, and ask if you're okay. And then there's just the people in the sport of bull riding are pretty amazing, and just genuinely care about you.
Yeah. No, I've experienced that as well with this community, and, you know, it's like you say. I mean, it's the people spending their dollars that they make each week to go to rodeos on the weekend and be a part of that community, and, you know, truly love being a part of that family, that patriotic and spiritual family and community. You know, it's fantastic. So you are on social media. You have, what is your handle? Do you know? Is it just at Dalton Kasel?
Yeah, I think it's just at Dalton Kasel,
Okay.
all lowercase.
And that's Kasel.
Yes, sir.
Correct. And then same with Facebook. Or do you not use Facebook?
I don't
very
use
much?
Facebook. I log myself out, and I don't know how to get back in.
Oh man,
Not very tech savvy.
you might have to get an IT fan on the phone for that and help you fix it.
Yeah.
Anyway, Dalton, again, appreciate you being here, man. Thank you so much. I really, really enjoyed this. And again, thank y'all for listening. Because without the listeners, just like for Dalton, he'd be riding bulls at empty arenas and I'd be talking into a microphone for no reason. So be sure and follow along with us on social media at Tough Draw and at Tough Draw Talks for more episodes of our podcast as we continue to bring y'all closer to the rodeo community. Until next time, everyone, enjoy the ride.